Hi everyone, my name is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and today I'm with my good friends Jeannie and Tommy. Oh, I gotta do it again. Jeannie and Tommy. I've never... Hi everyone, my name is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and today I'm in Seattle, Washington. I'm in the Bamboozle Bungalow. Well, actually we're outside of the Bamboozle Bungalow.
Yes, we're on the Danger Piranhas deck.
Is that what this is called?
Yeah, there's a wall over there that's all full of Mischief Motu stuff that's all sorts of piranhas. Because,
Is that how it is, like when you have a tiki bar, all of a sudden you start naming so what's the name of your kitchen then, like
the kitchen?
The galley, blah, 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 kitchen.
Oh, that would be the cuisine, because it's French.
Yes.
Because all the rooms in my house have funny
Yes.
places they're from.
Yes. What was the Turkish room?
Yeah, we got
like
the Turkish room, the Hawaiian bathroom,
the Hawaiian bathroom,
the Italian dining room, and the French cuisine.
So what's the name of your bedroom then?
Oh, that's the adventurer's room.
The adventurer's room.
Because all of the pictures of all the places we've ever been and all of that stuff, because I don't like putting awards out in the house and stuff like that. So all of that personal stuff is all in our bedroom.
Oh my God.
And yeah, pictures of Richard eating strange things in foreign countries,
Yeah, we've all been there. Jeannie, I'll be honest with you. Right now, I feel like even though we're on was it the Piranha deck or the...
Yes, the Piranha deck.
I honestly feel like I'm at a Goodwill.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I see a lot of this what do you call this kind of ware?
Monkeypod. Monkeypod ware.
And
though not all of it is made of monkeypod or acacia wood.
Okay.
It can be made of other
So the
things,
Monkeypod is the type of wood.
It is.
Okay. And I'll be honest, like if you start getting into tiki out there and you start going to the thrift shops, you're gonna see a lot of this stuff.
Yes. It's one of the few things that is still reasonably priced. If you go into a Goodwill or Salvation Army or that kind of thing. A lot of tiki's caught on.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the decorator items or glassware, things like that, people already know to hunt for.
Yeah.
But if you're going to have tiki parties and things like that, you need serveware.
Yes, you do.
And this stuff is, in some ways, really pretty indestructible, and in other ways, it can be pretty fragile.
Oh.
But it is still very accessible. So, there are pieces from Hawaii, and then there's a bunch of tradeware that you'll see from, the Philippines.
Okay.
So when military people would go overseas, do a stint in the Philippines, they'd come home with ubiquitously one of those big macrame chimes and Monkeypod.
Yep.
And so a lot of it ends up at the thrift store. And there can be some really super upscale pieces. Like I have some that are made with butterfly wings.
Wow,
and that underneath. And as a tray. And then it's coated. And then there's just regular Monkeypod, like this kind of piece with its Goodwill sticker still on it. And because I just picked this one up because it's kind of tough to find footed bowls.
Yeah.
And so you will find it in various conditions when you find it at a Goodwill.
Yeah.
You will find it pristine, like they stuck it on a shelf and dusted it every 6 months and left it to its lonesome.
Yeah.
Or you will find it really rough if somebody has used it but doesn't know how to take care of it properly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and there's everything. There's those huge compotes, the standing compotes with the pineapple with the fronds at the very top.
Oh, yeah.
And frequently in the time period, people didn't get those to actually serve anything on. Those were like a conceit they'd put in the back of in the dining room, and then they would go and pick out all the wooden fruit from the vendor that they wanted to put on it.
I've seen the wooden fruit, and I've always wondered, why is that?
Yeah. It was so that you could have your bounteous fruit bowl, but you never had to worry about it going zzz and doing itself in, as you left it in the corner. Or you didn't have to worry about the wax grapes or the lucite fruit. It was, a mid-century thing.
Well, what's funny, Jeannie? I remember, I grew up in the 70s, and I remember, you'd go to people's houses, and they'd have the bowl of fake fruit. And then you're like, why? Like when you look back at it, it's like, no, let's get some fruit and put it in a bowl. But no, let's make sure it's fake.
Yeah, because we don't want to have to actually go bad or something.
We don't want to have to actually eat the fruit. We just want to look at it.
And then you always hope that your guests didn't try to eat your wax fruit.
No, I've actually tried to eat those grapes.
Oh yeah, the millions of clusters. That
Yeah,
were,
I was a kid. So at least with the wooden pieces, they don't even paint them. And it's like, yeah, this is obviously not to eat.
Yes,
so
but
it's
but it
complete
looks
decoration.
bounteous.
So it's complete decoration.
And you can use those for food, but you have to be super careful with them.
Okay.
And then like the fronds in the top of the pineapple, you always want to make sure you find those.
Yeah.
Because those could actually be like gigantic toothpick-like things where you could actually stab something on the thing.
Oh my God.
And use it as a utensil. So, should we begin with types of Monkeypod and wood?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the pieces you will most likely find 100 times over are the ubiquitous pineapple bowls.
Oh, wow.
And they come in all different types of shapes and sizes, like the big one over there, which we'll talk about for care and feeding. Okay. So they can come huge.
It is big.
Yep. And frequently, if you look for it, underneath, these pieces, even though some of them don't look signed, most of them...
Monkeypod.
Yeah. So
Philippines.
They'll tell you where they're from. They'll tell you sometimes who the artist who made it is. Sometimes they will tell you that they're not from the Philippines. They'll tell you if they're from Hawaii. Like, for example, this beautiful angelfish here.
Well, yeah.
This is a mid-century piece. And
there's a lot of holes in it.
Yep. And underneath...
Did a woodpecker get after that?
You can't see it, but underneath, usually done with like
let me see.
A scrawl tool or you know how we used to
Woods of Hawaii, Honolulu.
So that was
Monkeypod wood
scraped into
and
the bottom.
It looks like it's literally hand in.
Yeah. So, and they'll tell you what kind of wood it is frequently, because not just Monkeypod happens. Sometimes you'll get really lucky. So Monkeypod is a kind of acacia. It's very fast growing and quite durable. So they do it a lot. It's also really easy to carve. The other woods that you might find would be koa.
Koa.
If you find koa, grab it.
Yeah.
Because that's a really expensive wood. And then coconut wood, palm wood.
Yeah.
Anything that's a standard tropical wood. You will not normally find these pieces in teak or mahogany.
Yeah.
They would save those for furniture.
So why all the holes?
So
did a woodpecker get after it?
So that's a thing. So you see the toothpicks I've got sticking out of them? So later I'm gonna feed you. So
it's like kerplunk.
And this would be the centerpiece. So like in this piece here with the seahorse.
Oh, let's grab that here.
They actually would make a tray that would fit underneath these animals or pineapples or whatever.
The seahorse has holes in it.
And he actually fits in a depression in the middle. And frequently there'll be a tray that these go with. And I'll talk about what we do about this a little bit later. But these animals are a thing. So I always figured, when I first saw them, I was like, why does it look like buckshot?
Yeah.
And that's so that you can stick food in them. So you put your canapes, because this was the cocktail time.
Yeah.
And so they would put food on sticks, which, we love tiki food being funny. So they put food on sticks, and then it would stand up.
Oh, okay.
Off the plate, and it would be visually more appealing, and it would keep it less messy. And it was a really good thing too, because one of the downfalls of Monkeypod, if you hold up that bowl on the end,
this one here,
is if you actually get them moist or wet. I don't know how well it's going to show in the thing, but there's this huge white kind of opacity in the middle of this bowl.
Yeah, it doesn't look too good.
Yep. So that was the first piece of Monkeypod we ever had. And we didn't know that you couldn't even toss something with a marinade that had lemon or lime juice or pineapple juice or salad dressing and put it in one of these bowls without that happening.
So what was this made for then, if you weren't supposed to put anything in it?
A lot of it was decoration or dry items, or you fiddled with it so that you could actually use it.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of things that we do when we're going to use our Monkeypod to save it from getting damaged.
Gotcha.
And there's also a way to rehab that if it happens to you.
Would there be any kind of warnings on this? Like, hey, don't put any real food in this bowl, or you just kind of figure it out?
No, you just kind of figured it out. especially if you got it at the Goodwill.
Good to put all our food in it.
Yeah, so we were like,
What the hell?
Hey, we'll toss a salad in that. That's great. You know, wooden salad bowls are a thing. Turns out a lot of the finish that they put, especially on the Philippine stuff, really can't take having any kind of moisture or acid or that on it, or it's just not going to make it. But you can pre-prep your wood so that you can use it more fully.
Okay.
And you can also make what I call boats.
Boats.
For inside it. So boats are generally made with aluminum foil.
Okay.
And parchment, things that create a barrier.
Oh, okay.
And there are other kind of, you can also use natural barriers. So like we'll put down a parchment liner in a piece.
Want me to grab any?
And you can cut them with funny edges or things like that. And then on top of that, you can put natural leaves. You want food safe leaves. So like these are grape leaves, for example. But there are banana leaves and things like that. But remember that those items that are natural, unless they're dried, and they do sell like dried banana leaf and dried bamboo leaf. You can get them at the Oriental grocery store.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's dried itself, it can leave marks in your Monkeypod. The other thing you can do to protect your Monkeypod, if you're going to actually use it, because we do, because you know, if the table goes over, none of these pieces are really going to break.
Yeah.
So what we do before we use a piece is they make a couple different products. If you're going to use your Monkeypod for food, just like you don't want salmonella or things like that, you don't want to give yourself toxicity or poison yourself by what you've put on your Monkeypod. So you want food safe things on your Monkeypod.
Okay.
This is Daly's wood
kitchen wood treatment.
There's also butcher block oil.
Okay.
This is knife oil, which is the same as butcher block oil.
Yeah.
These are food safe mineral oil type products. A lot of people use food oils as the coating on their Monkeypod.
Okay.
There's a problem with that.
Oh.
So your Monkeypod's really thirsty. It will soak in whatever you give it. It loves mineral oil. Like for example, let's see. I've got a piece that hasn't been oiled, which is this one.
Yeah.
So that is just how it came out of the, I've of course washed it.
Yeah.
You wash it and you dry it immediately. So just warm, sudsy water. Don't let anything soak. It's a quick on, quick off, dry it.
So wash it and get it and dry
immediately
quickly.
Dry it. This one has been treated with the butcher block oil.
So you treated this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you can tell that it's also shiny.
Yes. And a lot of things, a lot of nicks, dings, light white marks will come out with an application of mineral oil. You'll see there's an indent there.
Right here.
We also made the error when we first were doing and we knew nothing. That
let's put the sauce right here.
Yeah, let's put a sauce in there. No, that's for put a bowl in the indent and put your sauce in the bowl.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So, and you can, at Goodwill, you can wander down the aisle. There's usually a jillion different Asian or Polynesian or even just pretty whiteware that you just take the piece you're going to buy, walk down the aisle, and you can usually find a ramekin or something that's going to fit it even while you're there. We have a bunch of them sitting around the house. And some it can draw attention to itself. It can be really beautiful, like this Japanese one.
So when these were being sold, would they come with the bowls, or you have to buy them separately?
I think you bought them separately. I've not seen one where it actually had the tradeware that went in it.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever seen a piece where the tradeware was part of it was this hibachi set here. So this is a Lazy Susan, and the hibachi comes right out. And you put a little. We did an episode where we cooked on it. The pieces come in a million different shapes.
Yeah.
So there was this bean pod. There's a footed bowl. These open banana leaves are really popular.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of those. Sometimes they shape them like a calabash or a fruit.
Yeah.
They were really into doing things like shells.
Okay. Oh yeah, wow.
And some of the pieces, like that's its original tag there.
Crazy.
Stock number from the 50s.
Made in the Philippines.
Yeah, made in the Philippines. So there's different whole masses of different things that you'll find. But the big question for me when I found a bunch of pieces is, well, what do I do with it? So like, so I had talked to you about, maybe we should talk about, you're going to find all these weird weird things. What do you do with them? So that's where the whole next food on sticks thing comes from, because I found a bunch of these ones with the holes all through them.
Crazy.
So, you're going to find these pieces have been produced since, easily World War II, brought home here. So as food fads go through, then you're going to see those food fads show up in, I need a canapé tray, or I need a candy dish, or and you're going to find it in Monkeypod, because if it could be done as a regular dish, they would frequently do it as one of these.
Crazy.
And they can be highly various. So like this is a serious rehab piece, but I loved it. It was super heavy.
Oh wow.
But you can see there's the darkness in there.
Yeah, I can see that.
Somebody put some like dark meat sauce on something or things like that. Wood will absorb.
Yeah.
So if you get a piece like this.
Oh, there's some weight to this thing.
Oh yeah, that one's super heavy. This, or like the big bowl where you've got real damage inside, and you're not going to preserve any kind of collector value, but you really would like to use it to rehab the piece. Worst case scenario, you can come in and you can sand down until you don't find any marks anymore. And then treat the piece with these butcher oils and things like that to create its new sheen.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't suggest putting the shiny lacquer type glaze back on them, because it really makes them very not useful for
So
food.
how often should you be treating the wood?
Every time you use them.
Oh, okay.
So before we have a party, I will take all the Monkeypod out. I will wash all the Monkeypod. I will dry all the Monkeypod. And then I will take just like a terry cloth rag is what I found to be works the best for getting in all the cracks and crevices and things like that. And then I will mineral oil the pieces. I will let them dry and cure for at least an hour or more before I want to put food in them. And there'll be a little bit of residual oil, a tiny amount, that's left on the wood, and that kind of is a buffer for when you put food in them directly, if the food is kind of dry. So like if you're doing a crudité platter, for example, all these cut vegetables, as long as those vegetables aren't actively wet, in a mineral oiled piece of Monkeypod, they'll be fine. But if you're going to do something like a wet salad or meat skewers where they're going to drip or things like that, then you're going to want to do some kind of boat made out of either parchment or aluminum foil covered with leaves or that kind of thing, or dried leaves.
Well, next time we see these in the video, there'll be food on them.
Yes.
And then that food will be in my belly, so I can't wait.
Yes, because we're going to do food on sticks.
Yes!
When they do a rehab on a piece, there's a couple different things I've heard.
Yeah. Do you think the drums are going to come?
So, my neighbors have a teenage son.
Yeah, we got John Bonham next door.
Yeah.
Want to support the Tiki with Ray show and look cool doing it at the same time? Then head over to tikiwithray.com and buy yourself a Tiki with Ray shirt. They're only $20. Tony Canepa did the design, and they're screen printed in America. Kills me with the drummer over there.
Yeah.
You're not very good. As a musician, I can tell you that.
Trust me, he's better than he was.
Oh my God, that's not saying much.